Hey guys, it's Jen. I'm back with another album share. While I'm out of town, I'm posting these album shares just for fun. And I started the last video, I had a fairly old layout share, and this one, or album share, this one is still old too. My daughter is 10, and this is when she was not quite 1 yet. So, oh, this starts at her first year actually. So this is 9 years old almost. So I had an American Crafts corduroy album. I will eventually change this out to We Are Memory Keepers Grayish leather album. I'm working on changing all my albums out. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Sorry if you can't see it very well. I'm trying to figure out the best angle for this. All right, so these are my daughter's 1-year-old pictures. And you can see I was getting really into some staples. These were colored staples that I think Making Memories came out with. And then I had some of this like little flare stuff. I don't know what that's called. Anyway, and some stickers and these large flowers. So, and I had gotten a border punch. So those were kind of fun, and photo corners, of course. Not of course, but this page I still really like, actually. This was, I think, a scrap lift from somebody else, but I just wrote a bunch of words that had to do with winter, and I wrote winter is right on the photo. This isn't like the best quality photo, it's a little blurry, but I just thought it was so cute with my daughter's face barely poking out. And I put a lot of these flowers on it as well, and then doodled around the edges. I really like the doodling. I think I need to get back to doodling. This is a layout I haven't made yet, but I've been meaning to. This is my husband's grandma. She died shortly after Malia was born, but I have a photo of her holding her, so I wanted to put those together. This is opening presents on her birthday. We had a luau. My daughter's name is Malia, which means Mary in Hawaiian, and so we had a luau for her first birthday, and I had a friend who is Hawaiian who helped me cook food for it and all of that kind of stuff. It was really fun. But this is her opening the presents, and I put a ton of photos on here, a large title, and I wrote a little bit on the edges and doodled around it. And I really love this layout design. This was her cake. So we did a Lilo and Stitch cake. I still to this day have never seen Lilo and Stitch, but it was a Hawaiian theme, so we went with it. So I stamped this with foam stamps and paint, and then I outlined it. So foam stamps were big for me at that time. And these are thickers, so the first days of thickers for me. And I stamped happy birthday. This was, I think, a Stampin' Up stamp, and journaled all around it. And I inked the edges of everything at this time as well. So mahalo, Alice. That's my friend who helped us put the party on, and the food and stuff. So it was kind of a fun time. These are a couple pictures of her making this silly cute face that she makes. And I wrote my Valentine, and then I wrote for each letter something that started with that letter that was about her. So very valuable, adore, lovely, lovable, entertaining, nice, talkative, irresistible, needed, and embraceable. So that's 2007. This is breaking the blinds. So my daughter always loved to look out the blinds. We lived in an apartment at the time, so they weren't ours, and she would break them always. She would pull them down so far and break them. So I needed to do a layout about that. And I remember specifically choosing this ribbon because it looked like cracked, or like it could be broken somehow. And I had just gotten a Cricut, so I was using that for my lettering, which is fun, and this little flower as well. This layout I loved, and I remember because of these specific embellishments, these little flowers, I learned how to crochet those little flowers so that I could make my own, because they were so expensive. So I'll show you later on where some of mine come into play. But I did use my machine to stitch around the outside edges of this, and then this is some sassafras paper, and I hand cut this tree and put it on some chipboard so that it would stand up a little bit, and I just love that photo of my daughter. So there's not really, I didn't have a story with that one. I didn't write down a story. I just put this photo, but I think I might go back and write some stuff in, because I know some stuff I can say. So some of these are more recent than others. Like this one I think I made and then put in here later. So this is a few years later, but this is Sassafras and American Crafts, and I just love all of these papers. And my daughter looks kind of like a Who when she makes that face. You can see her nose like kind of scrunches up, and she had really fat cheeks, and it was really cute. So these are some handmade embellishments that I did. So that was kind of fun. Sorry if I'm going too fast. I don't want to make these too long. And honestly, I'm kind of in a hurry. So this was a layout inspired by Allie Edwards. It has a classic clean style, kind of. I kind of wish I hadn't put this thing at the bottom, but I did. So there it is. And these are a bunch of photos of my daughter and my nephews playing at the park. And it just says play, and these are stamped with foam stamps. So I really like that. And I used photo corners for arrows. This is a double page layout called Easter Egg Hunt. And this is the annual Easter egg hunt at my in-laws' house. I talked about recently scrapbooking an Easter egg hunt again on the Scrap Gals podcast. So be sure to listen to that episode if you haven't yet. This page I loved. I still love this. So this is my daughter and my husband. She's wearing her Easter dress. This is one of those large flowers. I made this one. And then these are some of those paper flowers. These are rub-ons. I think those are Heidi Swapp. And I just wrote some journaling. This is a clear overlay. So this is March 2007. This one I was kind of getting funky with the titling and thought I would try 2 circles. This isn't obviously a real circle because it looks weird. It needs to complete right here, but whatever. So it says, I'm a sucker for anything sweet, especially you. And my daughter's hilarious faces as she's eating this little sucker. So this is another double page layout. And I like to incorporate things that are similar on the other side. So you can see I've got this little shape over here, and I used it over here as well. It's kind of hard to see. I loved these letters. So they're just like they're chipboard, but they're covered in fabric. They're really cute. I don't remember who made those, but those were really cool. So I wrote journaling, and then on this page, I used clear stickers that had numbers. And then down here, I wrote something about each one on the numbers. So that was fun. And I just made a collage of the photos. This one is not my favorite layout, but I went crazy with brads. I was just trying to use some up and the word slide. And the background paper had this circular shape on it, so I just cut my photos to fit into it. There's a blank page, so I can always stick one in here later. This is a double page layout of my niece and my daughter. And you can see I've got these huge flowers over here. And then I took this picture of my daughter trying to grab my niece's hand, and I stamped words and cut them out and put them around it to bring some focus to that. So that was fun. And there's another flower over here. So playing off these colors is how I chose the pattern paper, because of the colors of their jammies were purple. This I stole a photo from, and I haven't put it back yet, but I need to. I can't remember what that photo even was, but it had something to do with one of these things. So this is what Malia loves at 18 months, and I did something for every letter of the alphabet and included a few photos. And I just did it on regular lined paper, and then I used scraps, and I outlined all of them in brown so they would match. So that was a fun one. And these are rub-ons and thickers. Here's another double page layout. So this is a parade, our annual Strawberry Days parade. That's our town's celebration of Strawberry Days. And I stamped with paint. I loved doing that. I had a lot of the stamps, those foam stamps. And then a huge flower. So I used a lot of those paper and fabric flowers. And I rounded the corners. Here's another double page layout. So this is some little family photos that we did with all the nieces and nephews. Look how cute. She was so cute. So that's fun. And I like this delicate little, I try to make it delicate, but the little touch of this ribbon, it's cute. This was actually a poem that my sister-in-law wrote for my husband when she got married. Or maybe it was for Christmas. But that's a photo, the photo that she put on. So that was nice. This was a layout that I loved at the time. So these are some this is from like Dear Lizzie's first line, I think. And I cut out the flowers. I hand cut them out of the paper and laid them on top of this basic gray paper. And then I washi taped around my photo and I stitched it down on the corners. And I used some thickers and I put this ribbon here. And these are sassafras stickers and a stencil. I still love this layout, I think. And this is, I love the concept or what this is talking about. So at 2 p.m., I just took a photo through the door of my daughter in her crib. So that was fun. Here's another 2-page layout. This is my daughter looking at flowers and bugs and worms and stuff like that. These were some cute Cosmo Cricut chipboard pieces. And then this felt ribbon stuff that I had. So I just added some flowers to it. And then I exchanged the eye and spring for flower here. And my daughter said, "Mom, look, it's springtime outside." And it was adorable, so I had to document that. This is another double-page layout of my daughter and my nephew's relationship. And she would, every 5 seconds while they were watching a movie, just look over at him to make sure he was still sitting next to her, which was really cute. This is another double-page layout. So I did do double-page layouts back in the day because I wanted to scrapbook most of my photos. So this is at the pumpkin patch. And just lots of photos of us at the pumpkin patch and having fun there. And I used some ribbon for a photo corner here. You can see that I brought in the ribbon in 3 places so that it would be balanced. I still thought about that kind of stuff at the time. This is kind of a double-page layout. So this is Halloween, obviously, and my daughter dressed up as this little chick. I have not written journaling on here yet, so I need to do that. I made this little treat with just a chipboard circle and some folded up black paper. And I thought that was clever, so I made 2 of them. And then rub-ons, and I don't remember where these alphabets came from, but they were chipboard alphabets that you punched out. So I'm pretty sure, oh no. These were the same papers, but I cut this one out, so the center of this one out, so I could put the photos behind it. This is painting pumpkins. So we used to paint pumpkins rather than carve them. Sorry, the light's starting to come through my window. Let's see if I turn that off if it's better. I think so. And so I made the pumpkin look like a painted pumpkin. And I also use, I painted the letters too. I don't remember how I did that. I must have used the letters as a mask somehow. I don't know. This is a layout about my daughter's favorite movie, Shrek. She used to call it Gex, which was cute. That was fun. And I was into cutting up words and putting them in little pieces like this. I did it on a few other layouts as well. Well, that's kind of fun. This is a layout with lots of flowers, and I used some shaped sequins and some buttons. Maybe I didn't use shaped sequins. I used some buttons, and I used these clear acetate flowers. Those were from Heidi Swap. And I used 4 4x6 photos, and I just put them all together, and there's this little space in the center, so I did my journaling there. And then I wrote my title right onto the photo. And then this is just strips of paper around the outside, and it's hard to see, but I did doodle with a white pen around the outline too. So that was kind of fun. I forgot about that layout. And lastly, I have a Christmas layout. So these are all black and white photos, and I kept it really simple and clean. And this is a title I cut out on my Cricut. And then I did rub-ons over the top, and on the bottom I wrote some journaling. And then I just made a tree out of a stick and some strips of paper there. Not a stick, but like I cut that. And then that's a chipboard star. So that is my album from 2007. And I hope you'll join me because the next one I'm going to do is just from last year or maybe the year before. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.